let's start. So this is not mandatory course. So this is like additional after you learn multi-head attention and transformer. So we will give you practical session today on how you can utilize a transformer library in Hugging Face. Yeah. So Hugging Face becoming de facto standard for model hub, model reusability. So people around the world from many companies publish their data set here. And then they publish some pre-trained models in many areas like multimodals, computer vision, natural language processing, downstream tasks, audio tabular, including reinforcement learning. And not only preparing the model hub, Hugging Face also preparing a very famous library or framework. We call it Transformer Library or Transformer framework. Okay, so you can install this easily by pip install transformers, and you will get the library in Google Colab or Kaggle or any notebook you have. But you have to understand what is this library and how you use it. So in Hugging Face, there is a course on how to utilize Transformer Library for NLP. You can search the course, NLP course in Hugging Face. Hugging Face. So this is the NLP course of the Hugging Face here. There is 7 or important chapter here from maybe 9 in total. And we have summarized this course. So you can learn this course very quickly using the summary. So let me introduce the summary and then let me hand over to JC to give you more practice. Okay. So JC will send you this tutorial. This is official tutorial from Calbe Digital University that we use in Calbe. So start by understanding what is language model. So language model is a probability machine or probability engine that if you assign, if you give a corpus, it will give you probability model. So every time you pass a sequence, it will give you probability of that sequence can happen inside the corpus. So in simple term is a probability engine, okay? So we can build this language model using many transformer-based model. There are decoder-only model like CTRL, GPT, GPT-2, and Transformer XL. There is encoder-only model like Albert, Distilbert, BERT, Roberta, Electra. Usually BERT means bidirectional transformer. And then encoder-decoder model, which is, it also not only provide one of encoder or decoder, but it's also encoder-decoder in combination, yeah? So there's so many models available now and keep growing. So it's very important for you to be able to utilize the pre-trained models. And most of the model publish their pre-trained in Transformer, so you need to understand Transformer library. So to get started, first you need to pass the course in NLP, which is we summarize in this lecture. And of course, you need to see more sample in Hugging Face. There are so many sample of Hugging Face, how to use it. And you have to utilize ChatGPT to provide you code template, so you don't have to memorize the code. So the most important common concept in Hugging Face is it provides you a model hub. So in Model Hub, you can upload your pre-trained model or use the pre-trained model. And also there is a data set hub. You can upload data and pre-train using the model in the Model Hub. Okay. And it gives you many models from NLP, speech vision, and many more, including reinforcement learning and time series. So for OpenLLM itself, Hugging Face provides OpenLLM leaderboard to compete all available open language model like CloudU, Mixtral, Alpaca, Vicuna, all of the open model for language model. And you have to be able to utilize this model using Transformer library. So how to use Transformer library? First, you have to understand that Transformer model is everywhere from computer vision up to NLP. Yeah. So you can use this kind of prompt to understand what is available in Hugging Face. And the basic functionality in Transformer library is pipeline function. So pipeline means you can put some tasks in pipeline model to utilize the model hub or data set in Transformer. Okay. So Transformers library can do many things. You have to understand, you have to be familiar because many code is implemented using Transformer library. Of course, it also has some limitation like bias and limitation in Transformer language model. You can get it from Transformer library. How to use it? Understand first the pipeline function. And then everything coming into language model is a token factor. So if you have corpus, you need to turn it into factor. We call it factorization or tokenization. And then we invoke the model and get the response. Okay, so model invocation is the second one. After you tokenizer works well, then the factor you pass to pre-trained model and you get the result. And also you can define some pre-processing before tokenizer or after tokenizer and post-processing. And you can also handle multiple sequence, okay? So this prompt you can use to summarize the Hugging Face tutorial. What you can do with language model, the first step is to just use it. Just use it as a pre-trained model and then you just use it. The second, you can do fine tuning, means that you add your data and update the parameters of the pre-trained models, okay? So in Hugging Face Transformer library, it provides you trainer function, okay? And you can get sample code using this prompt, and you can process the data, loading the data set and fine tune your model. So very important to understand how to add your corpus to the language model and fine tune the language model and get the new pre-trained model after you do the fine tuning. Okay. So after you fine tune, you can reshare the model to Hugging Face, including your tokenizer, and people can call it or use it using the Hugging Face model hub to use your pre-trained model. Okay. If you have data and you are willing to submit the data to, you can upload to dataset library. So that is the summary of Hugging Face NLP course, chapter 1 and chapter 5. You need to practice because the concept is quite simple, but the amount of time you spend on the Transformer library will define your skill level. Yeah. So it's very important library that all AI engineers now have to understand. Okay, next. So let's see more about Hugging Face library. So in Hugging Face transformer models, they publish many models like this and keep growing. Yeah. So this model are fission or NLP model, multimodal or time series model. You have to see in the model hub, and then you have to understand how to use it properly. Okay. So let's say you click on the model here and then looks on the one case here. Usually each model have their own page and you can try to do inference for simple inference, but everything in the model hub can be invoked using transformer library or framework. Okay, so every model here you can do programmatically, yeah, using transformer library. And there is some predefined downstream tasks that you can use as a transformer pipeline, like text classification, text generation, summarization. You can use this prompt to summarize the capability of transformer library. Okay, like explain transformer library pipeline function, or you can change this to all tasks here. Okay, with sample code in PyTorch. And you can ask all of this prompt. You can use all of this prompt by changing the tasks here, so you can learn fast without memorizing the code. Okay, so Hugging Face also provide you the source code of the transformer library, just in case you want to audit, you want to see how it works. So you can just download the transformer library from Git by git clone the GitHub repo, and you will get the source code with all of these classes. Yeah. Sometimes we don't need to do anything with the transformer class. Yeah. Because it's already there for you to use, unless you want to contribute to the open source, then you have to understand the code structure, the class structure. So it provides you agents, tools, auto class, backbone, callback mechanism, data collator, logging, models, optimization, quantization, and many more facility in the class. The best way to see the capability of the library by looking on the source code, yeah, because source code, you can just, let's say you want to see deep speed integration with the transformer, just go to deep speed folder and see what function available, or Onyx, or many more. Okay, so the good thing also that Hugging Face community now start looking on more native language other than expensive interpreter language like Python. So Transformer on Rust programming language is released by Hugging Face. They call it Candle project. So you can check this Candle project. Using this project, you can utilize, like you can have transformer library, but in Rust, which is native. Why Rust is important here? Because utilizing backend like CPU, GPU, FPGA, many more backend arithmetic tensor processor is quite complicated in high-level language, but if you implement using low-level language like Rust, you can have more control. Okay, so Rust is the prominent and promising language for this. PyTorch provide PyTorch for C++, but I think many community now move to Rust, yeah, including for serving. There is project called Mosaic. So Mosaic is a Rust-based model serving for language model. You can take a look. It's keep growing. Other than Candle, there is a growing project called Burn. So Burn is another Rust project to implement language model, deep learning, like PyTorch, but for Rust programming language. Next, tokenizer library. So if you want to deal with language model, if you want to interact with the language model, you have to understand what tokenizer library they are using. Tokenization or embedding is not something new in NLP. Long time back, we have OpenNMT, but all of the language model developers, they usually use some well-known tokenizer. So you have to understand this aspect too. So there is many tokenizer like fast tokenizer, normalization, and pre-tokenizer. So all of this context you have to understand to utilize transformer library efficiently. Main NLP tasks, once you understand transformer library, what you can do with this language model is, let's say, you can do downstream tasks like summarization, translation, question and answer. You want to make chatbot or everything with ChatGPT. You can utilize transformer library, but sometimes you need additional library like LangChain or maybe Llama Index or other library. So using the Hugging Face, you can share your demo, your application, so you can make it like user interface features. So you can make UI for your model and publish to Hugging Face. You can use Streamlit or you can use Gradio Playground like this. Okay. Okay. So after you familiar with Transformer, maybe after the vacation holiday, we will have to learn more about LangChain. Yeah. So LangChain is another important library in how you utilize language model to make the end user apps. Yeah. So it's like a operating system platform for building NLP application using language model. So we will learn this later. And there is low-code version of LangChain. We call it Flowise AI. I suggest you install this in your laptop so you can imagine how it works end-to-end to make a chatbot from corpus language model into conversational chain using Flowise AI. It's free and open source. You can just install in your laptop. So you can reproduce many models like chatting with PDF files or chatting with text corpus or chatting with database in SQL and many other more. Conversational AI capability using language model. Okay, that's it from me. So I will let JC to guide you on prompt engineering on utilizing transformer library. And after Lebaran holiday, we will come back again and then we will learn LangChain and Flowise. LangChain is a code-based NLP application framework. And we consider Flowise as a low-code base. So if you can do in Flowise, you can always do in LangChain or the other way around. So sometimes it's very hard to explain your LangChain code to other people. But if you use Flowise, it's much more easy to show to other people this is the flow we are using to build the chatbot. Okay, so that's it from me. So please, JC.
Okay, sir. Let me continue the practical session of this mini course. Let me share my screen first on the Hugging Face. Okay. So for this one, we will try to utilize the transformers library provided by Hugging Face to use every features that Hugging Face provided to us. So as usual, we have the Google Colab and ChatGPT, and this is the Hugging Face website. You can just type it on Google, and for this one, what we want is try to learn about the pipelines, about pipelines in the transformer libraries. So if we go to ChatGPT, we can just prompt right away. Like, let me see. to write an example code of using pipelines function from transformers library. See. Okay, this is the code. Let's see if we can run it first. It's connecting to the server, and while we wait, you can also do the same query prompts with me. I'll put it on the chat, and 1 second. Oh, hopefully, okay. Yeah, importing the library, and let's see. They're initializing the model first. This one had around 500 megabytes. So with Transformers library on Hugging Face, you don't have to wait a long time to train the model yourself, but using already pre-trained model. On this one, we are using for text generation. Let's see. This is the result. As you can see, I had for the prompt once upon a time in a land far, far away, and this is the generated text. So on this example, if we remove every comments, let's see, you can see it is as easy as 3 lines to generate to use the model from Hugging Face. For this one, I mean, you just have to provide the tags that you are going to use. This one, for this example, we are using text generation, and the prompt you are going to use, and you just call the pipeline with the prompt and additional parameters. So if you only want one result, you can just, the default is one, I think. Let's see. Let's try it. Okay, this one is the generated text, and once upon a time, once upon a way, and as easy as it is to use the model from Hugging Face. So there are obviously many tasks besides text generation. You can, if you already open the course, let's see, this is the link for that. On the transformers, and this is the available models, architectures on the quick tour. I see. Nah, this one already listed all of the tasks we can use on the pipeline. Like what we just used is, let's call it, text generation. And there are many more, like sentiment analysis, text generation, summarization, and many more. This is the task we can ask Transformer Library to give it to us. Like for example, we want to use the sentiment analysis. We can just change it right away. Okay, let's see. This one, we doesn't provide a specific library, but we just give it the task for our model. Okay, For this one, they're just defaulted to some uh, repository or Hugging Face model. And on this model, for this prompt, they are giving us a label negative of 94%. So this is it for the pipeline. It's very easy to use, so everyone can just use it. Okay. What if we want to use a specific model for our pipeline? As you can see in the model tab on Hugging Face, on the left side, there are many tasks like multimodal, computer vision, and especially the natural language processing. There are many about text classification, fill mask, translation, and many more. Let's see if we can choose another one like fill mask. If I did, usually every model already provided us some example of how we can use the model, like on this case from Google Bird with the model name of Bird based on case. If you scroll down, this one they already provide us with sample codes like this one. If we copy this code, this is basically the same. We define the pipeline, and for this one, the test name is fill mask, and on this one we specify the model that we are going to use. On this case, it is Bird based on case. What this test does is we provide a masking word that they will replace it with a corresponding or related word. Like this one, hello, I'm a blank model. And this one, they predict a fashion with a score of 0.1, which is the highest. And the complete sentence is, hello, I'm a fashion model. And they give us many more sequence or predicted word for the masking. So under the hood, let's see if we can see the pipeline parameters. Okay, under the hood there are many parameters like the task, the model we're going to use, the tokenizers, feature structures, and many more. Under the hood, if you let's see, we can check ChatGPT to explain more about pipeline function. Okay. What basically the pipeline function works is they are first loading the pre-trained models from Hugging Face Hub, and they are processing the inputs like doing tokenizers and etc. They're doing performing inference. What is it is the passing through the model with our inputs, and the last two is just post processing and returning the results. Let me see. And transformer library, if we see from this courses, this course, I mean, let's see. What this is, they are explaining about the pipeline. Let's see. What you can do is to have a different type of preprocessing or models on different case. Let me see. Like, for example, This one they are using BERT based on keys, and the tokenizers automatically imported from this model also. So each model maybe have different types of tokenizers. As we can learn from before, there are many types of tokenizers. Like, let's see. Let's ask GPT to explain about tokenizers. Explain tokenizer. And transformer library. So, like we have learned before, tokenizer is doing the tokenization of accepting a string input, for example, and doing it and transforming it to a sequence of integers, because models learn from integers. And I see. Okay, their tokenization, this process of breaking down raw text into smaller linguistic units, like words or subwords called tokens, and support subword tokenization, the same, and also special tokens. So this is basically the tokenization part of our pipeline. The first thing is they tokenized our input. On this part, let's see. They are breaking down the input so it can be accepted by our model. Let's see. We can ask GPT to write an example code to do tokenization with trans library. Okay, for this one, they are using the BERT tokenizers and from Pretain. Let's see this code. Okay, this is an example of doing tokenizers with transformers. This is the sample text of our input, and this one, it is tokenized from pre-trained. So every pre-trained model on the Hugging Face, they have their own tokenizers. So we just load the tokenizers and pick the tokenizer function only and save it on this variable. So after we done that, we can use the tokenizer to tokenize our own text, like this one. From this words, parts of the sentence, and we can see the tokenized version of this word. Let me copy the prompts first, explaining about the pipeline functions. Oh, I got a typo, but it's fine. Expand tokenizers, the transform library, and example code. Okay, let me hide this first. Okay, as I said before, the model, the pipeline, first is tokenize the input word, and after that they are doing what's called doing inference. That is applying the tokenized word to the output. Let's see. We can attribute it to write code to do an inference. Let's see. This is the doing the pipeline, and let's see. Oh, let's see if we can first load the model first. Just the model from Hugging Face. This model is called BERT-based uncased. Model is from Hugging Face, and do the optimization of input word and do the inference on the model on the loaded model. If you can see the prompts, okay, they're doing the all of the pipelines. Let's see. This is the predicted class and doing the BERT-based uncased. So on this example code, first we are going to do a manual pipeline functions. On this one, we first tokenize our we get the tokenizer from our model, and we also get the model only from our pre-train on the Hugging Face. This is the model that they are using in the background, and this is the our input text. Like I said, they first tokenize the input text, and for these return tensors, for this example, they are using PT, which is PyTorch, and okay, this piece of code doing the inference, as you can, which is applying the inputs are this one, the accepts tokens to the model, and the outputs from this model is not let's see if we can print out the output first. Print outputs of, let's see, I have and outputs. As you can see, the outputs is type of sequence classifier output, and this type and this logits. If we dot logits it, see. Okay, this is the logits tensor. As you can see, this is not quite we don't have information about the result from this. So that's why on the pipeline, they're also doing what's it called? Let me see. What's it called? On the they're also processing the outputs. Because the output of the model is not necessarily always the what's it called, the last output, like the actual word. What they need to do is they need to actually process the output, and they need to get the predicted class and also the predicted probability from the outputs listed here. Let's see. This one is predicted class of 0 and predicted probability of 0.5, actually 58%. And let's see if we can attribute it to return to do a post processing. So it returns an actual text result. let me give ChatGPT some context. The output of previous code as processing, so we can get the actual word, the actual output word. See. Okay, for this one, they are using sentiment analysis, and for this one, 0 just means negative, and 1 just means positive. Let's see if you can change the input text. I hate the new movie. It's terrible. Okay, it's also 0. Oh, the first one is negative. I forgot, but only has like 57%. And let's see if I love movie, if it's going to work. And okay, for this one, they predicted the sentiment rate, and you just have to this one. They're doing the processing of getting the outputs, the types of logits, and getting the actual information about the result. For this one, it is negative. For some other one, there may be another type of outputs, not always just negative or positive, but there are many more other than that. So, as you can see in the background, what pipeline does is just that first tokenize the input or pre-processing the inputs, performing the inference with the tokens, and what they do last is post-processing the output, so we can get the finalized output of the model. So let's see. Pipeline function does almost everything for us. And let's see. And Hugging Face. Let me see if this specific model has the what's called the online. Oh, as you can see, the Hugging Face also give us some online tryouts for every model they have. Like this one, on the right here, we can just change input the input from this interface. Like this one, the goal of life is this one predicts the life with only 0.1. But let's see if we can change the input. Let me see. The math is the hardest thing to do. If you want to test the model first with new inputs, you can always just use the interface on every model listed on the Hugging Face. Okay, the truth for this one, they are predicting the truth is the hardest thing to do. It's right. So that's it for models. Let's see if we can try this on other models like text generation maybe, or let's see. Like this, let me see. Text generations. If we can pick another model, let's start by Mustang Notes. Oh, they have GPT-2 in here. So This one, they don't have the API. Never mind. Let's see if we can try the inference API. See, there's a loading. Okay, they're generating the text, and I'm the wife of the founder of the Legend of Light. Although we are in good health, so it is quite good for this model because it is quite a big model. They are trained from billions, maybe billion around this one, 700 million and 1.5 billions. What you can do is just try it on this inference API. No, so you don't actually need the pipeline function of transformers. But if you need to customize, like if you want different tokenization functions, you can always just use the transformers library. And if you want to do differently on performing the inference, you can always just use the code with the transformers library. Okay, that is for the pipeline. Also, what you can do with this library is what's called to fine-tune pre-trained model. SHPT to explain about the fine-tuning. To explain fine-tuning, let's see. As you can see, this is the explanation. Fine-tuning refers to the process of taking pre-trained transformer model like these architectures that have been trained on a large corpus dataset and further training it on a specific task or dataset. So if we have like the text generation models, it is trained to generally adapt with the dataset they have when they first train it. For this one, like this is just general English with some biases and they have already tuned it for their specific purpose. For this one, maybe just to generate text like a robot, maybe like those kind of things. What we can do, obviously, we we don't have to just use the model they're providing us. We can also fine tune it for our specific needs. Like for example, if we have a text generation, let's see, Indonesian text generation, if they have the model, Indonesian, text generation. They don't have that on this one. But for example, if we have a model listed here on the Hugging Face hub about text generation, Indonesian language text generation, what we can do is fine tune it to, for example, what we need is a text generation, but we want to the text generation only uses Jaxo language or mixed with English. What we can do is fine tune that specific model from, for example, this, and what we can do is fine tuning. The fine tuning process is also listed in the course. Let's see, fine tune a pre-trained model. And you will need another data set for if you want to fine tune another model. This is basically like adding a bias. If we have a general data set and train the model with the data set, and if you want to another specific purpose for the dataset, we can give the model another dataset that has the specific bias we want to add and train the model more. That's called fine tuning. Let me see if we can use one of the example, or we can just ask GPT. Let's see. Give an example code to do fine tuning and pre-trained model. See fine tuning pre-trained model. So, okay. Let's see. Yeah. Creating a sample custom data set. See. Oh, it's quite long code. Let's see if we can run it. Let's analyze this code. For this one, they are splitting the train. Oh, they're using also the BERT base. And for this one, they are getting the model from the BERT based uncased model. They're specifically getting the model. And let's see. This one is for sequence classification. On other word is just text classification. Maybe for this one, we are giving them another data set. I love this product and this product is terrible, to fine tune our pretend model and to train it with our additional data set. Like maybe, for example, if we want to make this model to be more hard, that like making the result of this model like more sided to bad or negative, we can always add the dataset about negative text. So it is like adding a bias to our model. If we change the sample dataset like I hate this product, which is 0 and 0. Let me see. What this one? Not I hate this product, but let's see. What's it called? Let's see. If I have this is seem neutral, but I give it a negative value as the data set, it will make the model that we are training more leans towards negative, even though the text we are giving out to the model is quite neutral. So that is what it's called the fine tuning. So we fine tune a specific model from existing model, like from the Hugging Face, and what we do is train it a little more with another data set, but we don't have to train it from the first. We don't need to take that much time, but we just need to add a little bit of what we want to the model. So for this example, maybe just to sample dataset is not going to be significant enough, but you get the idea. Also, what we can do with Hugging Face, we can post our generated model ourselves to the Hugging Face Hub. let's see if we can execute it to do that. Let's see. Load the fine-tune model to Hugging Face Hub. See, okay, they're using the push to the hub function and better provide the transformers. See, fine-tune. This one they are just using the find the base bird and kiss and repush it to our hub, and you can do so on this collab. See, okay. They need obviously need your token and etc. So if you already have an account in Google Colab, what you can do is as simple as creating a new models and fill out our model repository. Let me see if we can attribute it to from pre-train. I haven't changed the fine-tune model directory, and see. Also, what you can do is you can also save your model locally. You can just tap HTTP for that, and let's see if you can save the model locally. Save the model fine-tune refuse code tool. Model save. Okay. I just using save pre-train for this one. The pre-train model is called same still model. You can just save it fine-tuned model, and later we can push this first, and let's see, push to hub will requires the repo, my fine-tune, Tambir. Let's see. Okay, same thing. You have to log in first and provide the tokens, access tokens to your code, so it can actually access the account and push out the model, and you can always use it anywhere because it is saved online. Maybe that's all for today. I hope everyone have a great holiday, and we will see you next week. Thank you, everyone.